Hello dear students. How are you? I hope all are fine. Today onwards let me teach 10th class, chemistry lessons. First let me start, 10th class chemistry first lesson, that is, chemical reactions and equations. Okay, first let me know, what is the change? How can you define a change? We can define a change as simply, something different is called a change. Now let me give some examples for the change. They are, tearing of paper, rusting of iron, burning of wood, evaporation of water, and so on etc. Now let me explain about classification of changes. I mean types of changes. Changes are classified into many types. Like periodic change, non-periodic change, temporary change, permanent change, physical change, chemical change, reversible change, irreversible change, desirable change, undesirable change, slow change, fast change, and so on etc. But in our syllabus, mainly there are two changes, they are physical change and chemical change. Now let me explain the differences between physical change and chemical change. Let me draw a table. First one is physical change and second one is chemical change. First let me explain about physical change. First point, the change which leads to formation of no new substances is called physical change. Second point, physical change is a temporary change. Third point, physical change is a reversible change. Fourth point, in physical change, no new substances are formed. Fifth point, in physical change only physical properties of the substance will change but chemical properties of the substance cannot change. Example, tearing of paper, evaporation of water, melting of ice, breaking of glass and so on etc. Now let me explain about the chemical change. First point, the change which leads to formation of new substances is called chemical change. Second point, chemical changes are permanent change. Third point, chemical changes are irreversible change. Fourth point, in chemical change new substances will be formed. Fifth point, in chemical change, both the physical and chemical properties of the substances will change. For example, burning of wood, rusting of iron, digestion of food, milk changes into curd, and so on etc. Okay, our lesson chemical reactions and equations is completely belongs to chemical changes. So let me focus on only chemical change. Okay, first let me explain the meaning of the lesson heading. First let me take one example for chemical change, that is burning of wood. The chemical changes we can represent with the help of chemical reactions. And the chemical reactions can be represented with the help of chemical equations. Now let me explain what is the chemical reaction. Chemical reactions can be defined as the process of conversion of reactants into products, then that process is called chemical reaction. Simply, if you convert reactants into products, then that is nothing but chemical reaction. Now what are reactants? The substances which are ready to participate in the chemical reaction are called reactants. Reactants are always present in the left side of the chemical reaction, LHS side. If there are more than one reactant in the reactant side, then we have to separate them with the help of plus symbol. Now let me explain about products. The substances which are formed during the chemical reaction are called products. Products are always present in the right side of the chemical reaction, RHS side. If more than one product is formed in the product side, then we have to separate them with the help of plus symbol. For example, burning of wood is a chemical change. In wood mainly there are carbon atoms. These carbon atoms are reacting with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide. It is an example of chemical reaction. We have to represent it in the form of words. Carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. Chemical reactions are in the form of words. So, chemical reactions are also called as word equations. If you want to write any chemical equation in the words, then it will take some time to write and it takes more space also to write, and also we cannot understand chemical equations properly. So we need one shortcut method to represent chemical reactions in simple way. To avoid this problem, chemical equations are introduced. So, chemical reactions are represented with the help of chemical equations. Now let me explain about chemical equations. What is chemical equation? The shorthand notation of chemical reaction is called chemical equation. For example, if you want to write the chemical equation for above example, burning of wood, then C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. In this way, chemical reactions are simplified as chemical equations. So, finally the chemical changes are represented with the help of chemical reactions and the chemical reactions are represented with the help of chemical equations. Now let me draw a flowchart for this. For example, let me take a chemical change. Burning of wood is represented with the help of chemical reaction. For example, carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. And again chemical reactions are represented with the help of chemical equations. For example, C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. Based on the above knowledge, let me explain some activities. First, let me explain activity 1.1. This activity is called burning of magnesium ribbon. First of all, for doing this activity, let me take a magnesium ribbon and clean it with sandpaper. Why we have to clean magnesium ribbon with a sandpaper? Because magnesium is a more reactive metal. It combines with oxygen in the air to form a layer of magnesium oxide on its surface. Hence, it should be cleaned with a sandpaper before burning to remove the magnesium oxide layer formed on its surface. After cleaning of magnesium ribbon, hold this magnesium ribbon with the help of pairs of tongs. Now introduce this magnesium ribbon into the Bunsen burner with the help of tongs. While burning the magnesium ribbon, we should better to wear eyeglasses. I mean goggles, because magnesium ribbon burns with a white dazzling flame. If we see this white dazzling flame directly with our naked eye, then our eyes will be damaged. So, to protect our eyes we have to wear goggles. After burning of magnesium ribbon, the formed ash, we have to collect on a china dish. The ash is magnesium oxide. Its formula is MgO. In this activity we observed that the solid magnesium ribbon is changed into amorphous ash. So we observed the change in the state of the chemical in this activity. Now let me explain activity 1.2. Now let me take lead nitrate solution in one test tube and the potassium iodide solution in another test tube. Let me add potassium iodide solution to the lead nitrate solution. Then we observed that the color of the final solution is changed to yellow due to formation of lead iodide. It is an insoluble solid in water. In this activity we observe that the change in the color of the chemical. Now, let me explain activity 1.3. Take a conical flask, add some zinc granules to this conical flask. And also, let me add diluted sulfuric acid to this conical flask. After some time we observe that releasing of a gas from the conical flask. And if we touch the surface of the conical flask, we feel hot. Because in this reaction some heat energy is released. Such reactions are called as exothermic reactions. Finally, in this activity we observe that evolution of a gas and change in temperature. From the above three activities, we have to conclude that change in state, change in color, evolution of a gas and change in temperature are the indications for the chemical change. Now let me write chemical reactions for the above three activities. 1. Magnesium plus oxygen gives rise to magnesium oxide. 2. Lead nitrate plus potassium iodide gives rise to lead iodide and potassium nitrate. 3. Zinc plus sulfuric acid gives rise to zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Now let me write the chemical equations for the above three activities. 1. Mg plus O2 gives rise to MgO. 2. PbNO3 twice plus Ki gives rise to PbI2 plus KNO3. 3. Zn plus H2SO4 gives rise to ZnSO4 plus H2. Actually, still we didn't discuss about the balancing of chemical equations. So I didn't balance the above chemical equations wantedly. Please note it. Okay, this is our today's topic. If you like this video, then press the like button. For more educational videos, please subscribe our YouTube channel, Chemistry Lights-manikanta. Please refer our YouTube channel to your friends, and please make them also to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you.